to join me here. Won't you be seated, please, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, Dr. Jaffe. Mr. Crow, Mr. Early. Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to summarize for you the meeting that I have just had with bipartisan leaders. America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
I realize the need for money to deal with this problem. I am glad that in this administration we have increased the amount of money for handling the problem of dangerous drugs sevenfold. It will be $600 million this year. More money will be needed in the future. I want to say, however, that despite our budget problems, to the extent money can help in meeting the problem of dangerous drugs, it will be available. This is one area where we cannot have budget cuts because we must wage what I have called total war against public enemy number one in the United States, the problem of dangerous drugs.
When confronted with how to deal with major issues that America faced in 1971, President Richard Nixon declared drugs as America's public enemy number one.
Dope? You think the Russians allow dope? Hell no, not if they know about it, not if they get canceled. They send them up. You see, homosexuality, dope, immorality in general, these are the enemies of strong societies. That's why the communists and left-wingers are pushing each other. They're trying to destroy us.
Launching an attack on drug users themselves, the root causes for their drug use were ignored. Instead, Nixon focused on the capture and incarceration of addicts and turned them into criminals. In the coming years, funding for social welfare dropped while law enforcement and surveillance funding increased. By tying addiction to crime, law enforcement could easily target low-income and minority areas that often suffer most from addiction because of their social status. Nixon's war raged on long after his resignation, with Democrats and Republicans alike increasing funding and enacting new policies.
Last year alone, over 10,000 drug criminals were convicted, and nearly $250 million of their assets were seized by the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Our 1990 drug budget totals almost $8 billion, the largest increase in history. The war on drugs will be hard won, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, child by child.
Instead of providing funding to preventative measures such as rehabilitation for drug users, the government criminalized addicts and lower-class users.
These people are killing our kids. These people are disrupting society. These people are wrecking our society.
While pouring billions of dollars into enforcement and prisons. By legalizing marijuana, we can save our country trillions of dollars now and into the future, and halt a systematic war against minorities and the lower class.
Today, the debate rages on over the ethics of legalization with a spotlight on marijuana.
God only knows what they were up to in there. And furthermore, Susan, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to learn that all four of them habitually smoke marijuana cigarettes. Reefers.
The new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell. Debauchery, violence, murder, suicide, and the ultimate end of the marijuana addict.
Previously, marijuana legalization has faced strong dissent in America. Classified as a Schedule I hard drug, it was compared to the likes of LSD and heroin. In the past 50 years, we have seen major reform in education. Marijuana's popularity has grown, causing it to become a huge topic in pop culture and media. It is estimated that approximately 25 million Americans are active marijuana consumers, with a consumption rate of about 31 million pounds of cannabis a year.
We got a pound of coke?
Try to show them a good time, not ruin their fucking lives.
Pound of marijuana?
Best party ever.
Booyah! It is more widely accepted than ever before. So much so that legalization has become a topic addressed by politicians in their platforms.
In my view, the time is long overdue for us to remove the federal prohibition on marijuana.
This paradigm shift has America closer than ever to full legalization of marijuana across the country. The case for legalization can be made by looking at states like Colorado and Washington, who are successfully leading the way in recreational marijuana sales. In 2012, Colorado and Washington state legislators signed into action a bill that would legalize the sale and use of recreational marijuana despite the federal ban. Since then, these states have seen great economic prosperity. In 2015 alone, Colorado and Washington brought in a combined total of $618 million in tax revenue. This revenue almost entirely funds the public education department within these states. While there are many estimations on the tax revenue that legalization across the country would bring in, it is realistically projected to be similar to that of alcohol and tobacco. In addition to the monetary value of legalization, Colorado has provided over 100,000 new jobs to residents and vastly increased their tourism market. Approximately $1 billion is spent annually on prison costs for marijuana-related crimes alone. Although money will be made due to the legalization of marijuana, the major economic benefits will be a result of the money that will be saved.
Seeing as the war on drugs has been a trillion-dollar failure, where can we go from here? As voters, it is our right and civic duty to participate in government through elections. By standing up to prohibition, we can send a message to our leaders that we want real and safe options for the purchase of drugs, real funding for prevention and treatment, and real systematic change. In 2012, George Mason professor, economist, and author Donald Boudreaux wrote, "Too bad that too few people realize that government cannot prohibit private behaviors without unleashing consequences far worse than the behaviors themselves."